I'm Paul Levinson, and welcome to Light On, Light Through, episode 136, Kamala Harris, the first step back from the precipice. Well, I did a podcast a few days ago about why I strongly disagreed with Wade Davis's conclusion in his article, The Unraveling of America, that was published in Rolling Stone. His conclusion was that America was so far gone in ways that the abysmal treatment of the COVID-19 pandemic epitomizes but did not initiate, that nothing could reverse that decline. Nothing, including and especially the upcoming presidential election. I explained in that podcast why I thought such a conclusion was not only dangerous but wrong, and I cited FDR's election in 1932 as a ringing example of how a presidential election can indeed make a difference. In that case, lifting us out of the Great Depression and enabling us to lead the free world to defeat the Nazis. Now, I offered that argument 2 days before Joe Biden selected Kamala Harris to be his vice presidential running mate. I see that selection as America, via Joe Biden's wise decision, taking the first step back from the precipice. In an ideal world, a person's ethnicity and gender wouldn't matter. All that would count in anyone being a candidate for any job would be the candidate's talent and capacity to do the job as effectively and as excellently as the job could be done. But we don't yet live in such an ideal world, and in order to get there, we need people in public positions who come from ethnicities and genders, and as far as genders, I'm referring to women, who have been shut out from such public positions because of the racism and sexism from which our free society emerged and which is still, unfortunately, very much with us. In such a world, which is this world, this our country, Kamala Harris breaks a wide array of barriers, an array amazing for just one person. She's an African-American woman with an Indian, as in Asian Indian, heritage. But Kamala Harris would be an impressive candidate even if she were a white man. She's articulate, sharp as a whip, reflective, passionate, and strategic in her thinking. I think she's an ideal balance for the more deliberative Biden, and she'll make an ideal governing partner when they both get into office. Now, I just heard Harris's speech given in Wilmington, Delaware, after Joe Biden introduced her as his vice presidential partner. And if you want an idea of how Harris stands up to the current American vice president, compare that speech, the heartwarming speech of a fighter, compare that speech to the unctuous pap that daily comes out of Pence, the current vice president's mouth. So, to return to Wade Davis, elections do make a difference. A Democrat in the White House with a black woman as his vice president and a Senate and House of Representatives in Democratic control can and will turn this country around. But to make that happen, we have to get out and vote.
The Light on Light Through podcast.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this short episode of Light On, Light Through. There's a lot happening in our world, and I'll be back here probably sooner than even I expect with another episode of Light On, Light Through. In the meantime, enjoy.
Athens, 2042 AD. She ripped the paper in half, then ripped the halves, then ripped what was left again into bits and pieces of history that could have been. Sierra Waters had read once that, years ago, it was thought that men made love for the thrill, while women made love for the sense of connection it gave them.
Curled Up with a Good Book says, Sierra Waters is sexy as hell. You can find out more about The Plot to Save Socrates by Paul Levinson at theplottoSaveSocrates.com.
Paul Levinson spilled code about an ancient biotech war raging on in secret for centuries.